Our mission statement is we want to save the children by saving their fathers first. I was sold this dream in my 20s that if I put my head down, bust my butt, everybody will love me and everything will be great and I'll be happy. A lot of guys come in, they're like, I got to fix my wife and got to fix my marriage because she's got to be better. And then we just turn a mirror to them and they go, oh, shoot, it's me. You're not here on this earth for average, and certainly not average sex, not average love, not average relationships.
Well, hello, Doug. Yay, he's here. Doug, I want to tell you something right now. We get really excited when we have a male guest on the show because, you know, this podcast is all about relationships and dating and really creating amazing relationships, right? Of course, first with ourselves and then with the people we love. But it's not just the people we love, it's for our romantic partner. So our best friend lover. Okay. So when we have a man on, we love it because really hearing a man's perspective and what he's going through. Because I really believe with all my heart, men and women truly want to have great relationships. They do. And a lot of times they just don't see, or they're not taught, or they don't know, or they're like confused. But I really believe with all my heart that that's the goal. People want to be connected with one another, be seen, be loved, and have a great relationship, have fun, have sex, do all the things, Doug. I get it. Okay. So before I get going, I have a question for you. Before I even ask you this question, Doug, can you do me the honor of introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are, what do you do? And then I'm going to ask you that question.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here. Obviously, you do a great job and all the value that you're bringing to your audience and to the world. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you and all the hard work you're putting in. Because I know that, you know, I've done over 1,000 episodes of podcasts and I know it's not easy all the time. So you're here putting yourself out there for everybody else. So thank you.
Thank you, Doug. That's awesome.
Yeah. A little bit about me. I'll give you the short version. So first of all, a father and a husband. Those are the two things that I hold closest to my heart. And that's my true north. Not perfect in either of those, by the way. I just want to make that abundantly clear. But I'm always working on it. And my current today, for the last 8 years, I've been involved in a business. And what we do is we help married businessmen essentially become better fathers, better husbands, without losing or sacrificing themselves or their businesses. And that's really where I've spent my time the last 8 years. I've run a lot of companies before that. My wife and I went through our own marital problems, as I shared with you offline. And I've been very public with that, not because I'm proud of it, but I want to help other people. And I want to help people come through there. I used to actually work and coach women as well as men. And then 8 years ago, I made that shift exclusively to married business guys who are dads, because I'm one of them. So I understood that animal and what they were looking for and how traditional therapy and traditional programs just don't work for that type of guy, right? That type of man needs to be spoken to in a different way. So that's where I spend my time.
Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to dive into this conversation. Thank you. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. And absolutely what you're doing, and I know this, just, you know, the work I'm doing is so necessary. There's so much information out there, you guys, and it's good. It's okay. It's cool. For women, there really is. We have so many conferences, so many podcasts, all the things. So dive into that, ladies. That's why you're listening to this podcast today too. But I just noticed that there is a need for that information for the men too. Because again, what I say earlier in this, when I started out, I mean, relationships, right, are for the man and the woman. And, you know, they both matter. It's both important. And we both want to come together and have a great relationship. You know, I get it. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you, because I know that you primarily now dealing with men and you have the programs and you do all the things. What is, and I wrote this down, what is the powerful man?
It's a great question. So that's our coaching company. We're an international company. Like I said, we've been around 8 years. We've worked with thousands of men at this
Oh,
point.
did you guys hear that? He said thousands of men.
Oh yeah, we've had over 1 million downloads of our podcast. We put all our information out there for free. Our mission statement is we want to save the children by saving their fathers first. And what a lot of people, Charlene, don't realize, I didn't know this until I
Tell
started
me.
really diving into this work. And not a week goes by that we don't get a letter from a guy, or on our private community saying that we saved his life. Right. So we
Wow.
try to save the marriages, but suicide's the number 2 cause of death for men 14, and I think it's to about 50. I remember the exact end cap, but think about that, number 2 cause of death, but it's never talked about. And the reason that is, and I'll talk about the powerful man, but so many of these men, like, they don't connect, right? They live these lives of quiet desperation. They love their wives, they love their family. They just can't find the answers. And so, what a lot of these guys do, and these are great guys, like, some of these guys, they're leaders in your community, your church, and listeners that are listening to this could be your husband. They stop hanging out with their friends, or they hang out with friends they've had since high school and act as if nothing's changed. And so they don't have a better answer. And a lot of them think, hey, my family would be better off without me. And they choose a permanent solution for a temporary problem. So at The Powerful Man, we believe that a man can find his power within inside himself, inside his heart, first and foremost. It starts with getting to know himself. And we help men on 2 different angles. One is our flagship product is how to save your marriage without talking about it, because those guys don't want to sit on the couch and talk all day. But the funny thing is they do, but you got to get them there. That's the secret sauce. And then the other one's just for men that are just stuck in life. Like, they're saying, hey, I've been working my tail off. I was sold this dream in my 20s that if I put my head down, bust my butt, everybody will love me and everything will be great and I'll be happy. And they wake up and they look in the mirror and they don't know themselves. So those are the 2 types of men that we really focus on at The Powerful Man. And really, through our experiential events, our online programs, we have coaches from all over the world. I got 2 coaches here. We have a 106-acre ranch where we hold events. So we've invested in this. So we're all in. I got 2 coaches from South Africa at the ranch right now, running a group of men through a program. So that's what we do. We help the men. We don't leave the women behind. So I get that question a lot. In fact, my wife coaches women. That's what she does full time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But we start with the guys because, again, just like you could probably talk to your girlfriends differently than you might talk to me. I grew up with all guys. I played sports competitively with all guys. I love women, and the men that we work with love women too. And that's why they're willing to go through a program like ours.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible, actually. When it comes to men, and I believe this with all my heart, I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 4 boys,
Hmm.
and they're amazing. And I have my boys and then I have my girls. And the beauty of it is, and I said this before, we're just different and it's okay. We're
Yeah.
just different. Like, we're literally wired. When you just said, there's so much that you just said right now that just resonated with me. But one thing, when you just said, you're a man, and there is this connection, comfortableness when you talk to other men. It's the same thing, ladies, when we are with women. We talk to each other and we communicate with each other, and it's different than when we are communicating with men. It's just different. So when you guys created this, this program, this ranch, all of this, and you kind of already mentioned the type of men that are coming to you. Take me a little deeper here. Where is this coming from? What has happened? What has shifted? And why are these men feeling this way?
That's a great question. So, I always joke around and say,
Because
working
that
without.
makes me so sad. I'm sorry, Doug, honestly, just the pure fact that you just said I didn't know the actual statistics. I knew that it was high, but that actually just makes me, as a mama,
Yeah,
the boys, I'm literally like, that took me back. So
me
can we
too.
talk about where's this coming from, please?
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you a more upsetting statistic. I have a daughter and a son,
Okay.
right? So, and again, not a week goes by. We've lost 2 men in the movement.
Oh,
themselves.
Doug.
It's just thousands of guys. So statistically speaking, we're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I can go over here after my desk and grab letters from men and from their families that are thanking me and my team for saving their lives. So it's real. And you don't know that this person was at that ledge until they feel safe enough. So it's the CDC's website. You can go, everybody can look it up. Number 2 cause of death. Number 1 is accidental death. And I believe a lot of those are suicides too, because like the guy driving off the side of a road to get the insurance money, right, for his family. And these are
Oh
great.
my gosh, Doug.
Number 1 in the UK, so we serve men all over the world, English speaking only right now. And so why did this happen was your question, and I get it.
Yes. Where's this coming from?
So it comes from a couple places, but
Okay.
the first and foremost is, when a husband and wife get married, right? They're
Right.
in love and everything can go right. And I talk about it as like a scales of justice analogy, right? So imagine the 2 scales, and one's tipped so heavily in the good feelings and good experiences between the couple as they're going through. And over time, what happens for a lot of guys is you had some kids in the mix, right? And we know you got kids, I got kids. We know how stressful that is. You add in work and time and routine, and the guys start to lose themselves, and they sacrifice. They feel this is what their story is. So,
Okay, this is the story.
So there's 2 things here. I wanted to make sure I talk to the audience. I'm used to talking to guys so that they understand and can be receptive.
Got it.
We get accused of a bait and switch, right? A lot of guys come in, they're like, I got to fix my wife and got to fix my marriage because she's got to be better. And then we just turn a mirror to them and they go, oh, shoot, it's me. So
Doug, I do the same with the women. No, I promise. I hear you. And I know I talk to the women, and a lot of times it's like, oh my God, we got to fix him. We got to fix him. If only this is what I get. If only he would change, I would feel better. Yeah. And then I have to do the same thing. I have to get the mirror and I say, Mama, here we go. And they have to look at themselves. Okay, keep going, Doug.
Yeah. And we teach them how to do that and the differences and getting them back in. So what's happened is as they've gotten married, the husband and wife become roommates, and that's what happened with my wife and me. I felt as if I was crushing it at work. I was playing competitive sports still, and everybody seemed to really think I was great, except for when I got home. And so I did the thing. I thought, okay, it's my job to make her happy. Right. And it doesn't mean that you don't want your partner to be happy, because I did. I loved her so much. But I thought the way to do it was to do more things around the house, and I do things around the house. But I mean, I started doing we call horse trading, right? Hey, if I do this for you, I clean the house.
What that is. Okay, horse trading.
If I do this for you, then you're going to do that for me.
Okay.
Right?
So it started becoming very transactional for you.
Well, yeah. And it's very common. And it didn't work. Right? Mm-hmm. Oh, if I scrub the house, my wife's going to see how good I am. If I, buy her a new car. And so guys fall into this trap and they start to feel there's this disconnect that happens between the couple. They stop connecting. They stop dating. They stop having fun. Date night goes away. I mean, when you have newborns, that's tough. I get it.
Yeah.
But they stop dating each other. They stop learning about each other's interests and what's going on. And the men become very needy, right? They start becoming very needy. And the wife's like, hey, just give me some space, and do something interesting. And they fall into routines. And so guys start walking on eggshells. They don't know what to do. Do I open the car door? Do I not open the car door? Do I pay? Do I not pay? And the classic thing, Charlene, would be a wife going, hey, where do you want to go to dinner? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? So you don't have a decisive leader, a decisive energy in the house. And it doesn't mean that the man's supposed to lead or any of that.
Yeah.
But for most men and women, there's a bell-shaped curve. Most men tend to be more masculine. We have more testosterone. Women tend to be more feminine. I believe that feminine energy is much more powerful than masculine energy. But a lot of times the men start to fall into their feminine energy because they're just not sure what to do. And they start feeling like then the criticism comes out. I'm just a paycheck. I can't do anything wrong. She's just nagging me. All of these stories. And they've abdicated all of the leadership. They've abdicated all of the ownership to the wife. And then the man just becomes another child, right? She's got to make him food. She's got to tell him what his schedule is, schedule the dental appointments, take the trash out, make sure he's doing things. He starts forgetting. Then he starts telling her, you know what? I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to work out tomorrow. And he doesn't. I'm going to start this new business. And he doesn't. So trust starts to erode. And that's natural. He's scared. She's going, where's my partner? Where's this man? I looked in this man's eyes. I saw who he was. I saw his heart. His heart is now shut down to me. So there's no connection. He wants to have sex, but there's no connection here. Like, what is this? He gets frustrated. She gets frustrated. Now you have two people diverging, right?
Doug, this is honestly, I talk to, so many people like you. And what you're saying right now, I know people are like, huh? It is so common. This is what actually happens, Doug.
Yes.
Look at how you guys, wasn't that really, I love how clear he's explaining this. Because again, often we are in relationships, both the man and the woman. And we just talked about a lot of times we don't really see ourselves and how we're actually showing up. And it's so much easier for real to look at the other person and really believe, okay, they're going to have to do it differently. They need to change. Or you know what? Let me go ahead and let me guide them. Let me guide them. And I can see wholeheartedly. It doesn't obviously happen to all the relationships, but I really do see just you talking and me working with a bunch of people, how easily, believe it or not, this pattern starts forming. And it gets keep going. So then, so he's not even done yet. It gets even deeper here. So, but did you see how you just explained little by little, Doug? Look at that. Look at those little. It was just like little, and then the next thing, and the next thing, and now we have a full. Now women are in relationships, and men feel, my worth is not really valued here. Is what I'm going to say. They probably feel, and women are feeling like, oh my God, I have another child.
Yeah,
let's go from there.
I have another child. Well, I want to add on to you because you're spot on.
Add on. Yeah.
We just had a family stay at a ranch. So when our ranch isn't occupied, we let families use it. I mean, that's what we're about, is bringing the family unit together.
Okay, cool.
And I had a chance to sit down with the wife. I get to talk to the wives sometimes.
That's cool.
They had done Gottman therapy. They've done marriage counseling, I think 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And as soon as the man started taking ownership and working on himself, her husband, he's a great guy. Within a week, they completely flipped and 180'd their relationship. So before that, I'll just paint kind of their story, right? So now you have resentment building up. And if you can picture a pane of glass between you and I, Charlene, right? And we're seeing each other clearly right now. Of course, we're not in the same room, but we can see each other very clearly. And a little resentment comes up and you're like, oh, I can't believe, what did Doug mean when he said that? Imagine you just throwing a little bit of mud on that glass. Then I throw a little bit because, well, Charlene's not talking to me, what have you, or whatever it is. Oh, she doesn't appreciate how hard I work. And all of these stories is really external of ourselves. Now, this glass that we're seeing each other now clearly with is muddy. And we try to wipe it up a little bit, but it just smears and it gets more and more cloudy. And we stop seeing each other for who we are because we stop taking ownership of our own actions. So resentment builds. Perhaps the wife's working and taking care of the home, or maybe in a more traditional, she's taking care of and managing the home and the kids and everything else. And he gets home and I'm tired, and she's like, well, I've been with the friggin' kids all day. Like, I need an adult conversation and a break. And they miss each other. Like, she doesn't feel appreciated. He doesn't feel respected. And it becomes a recipe for disaster. Both of them want connection. People always say that men want sex. And I used to work with a lot of women. I'll tell you what, women want sex just as much, if not more. Both want connected sex,
yes,
intimacy. The only thing that makes a brother and a sister different than a husband and a wife is intimacy, right? They both pairs love each other. They both connected. Intimacy separates the husband and the wife and the commitment.
Well, let me ask you this. That's really good. I love how we're starting this conversation with that, because how you just said how even though you have two people that both are really wanting, like I said, the great relationship, like they want real relationship, real intimacy. And we just talked about how slowly but surely how this happens. And there's so many marriages in these situations right now. So you're married and you were with the love of your life. You love this, you love your wife, you get married, you're yay, party, right?
Perfect, right?
Everything's perfect. What happened, Doug?
Yeah, I'll share my story. And my wife's giving me permission just because we want to help people.
Perfect.
So two things happened, right? So
Okay.
I grew up, you never hit a woman, you don't yell at women, like very respectful. And I've always been that way.
Okay.
And I remember my wife one time, I'll just share, she's two things that she said to me that changed the trajectory of my life and what I now think is my legacy work. One thing she told me, she said, I would rather you hit me than close down on me. It's more painful
Ooh.
for you to block, like completely shut me out. And I was like, well, what do you mean? I would never hurt you. She's like, no, I know you would never hurt me physically, but you closed your heart to me. I didn't know any better. I thought what I was doing, Charlene, was the respectful, nice thing. I'll just close down. Sure. Whatever you say. I was a jerk. I didn't know I was being one. I didn't understand, emotional safety.
Got it.
Right. She's like, you're not safe. I'm a decently big guy. I work out a lot. I used to own a gym. I did jujitsu. So I think I'm a very safe human to be around with. But she's like, I don't feel safe around you. I was like, well, how could you not? I've never hurt you. Don't yell. So emotional safety was huge.
Emotional safety.
I was trying to figure that part out. And the other thing she said to me that kind of kicked it off is in completely sobbing tears. And I grew up in a family with all boys. So when a woman cries, I feel like I need to fix it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
And she said, how can two people love each other so much, but yet still can't make it work? And so it got so bad and I didn't know my wife was too. I left our relationship. Luckily enough, I had clients at a beach house in San Diego, California on the beach. I went there to get space and really essentially plan my exit. And my wife was doing something on the side. It's not what I wanted, but this is kind of, hey, this is where we are. It's not working. And we did marriage counseling twice, only to walk out of the counseling sessions more mad because we were.
Oh, Doug. Yes.
Talk
about problems. Yes. I know you guys, I'm going a little ahead of it right now, and I'm going to let Doug continue finishing his story, but I have to just say something. This is why we need to hear what Doug has to say right now and how important this conversation is right this second. I'm telling you why. Is because so many of us, when we are in relationships, and we're two ships, we're not aligned and we're not connecting, and we're like, there's love there, but you know what? Love is not going to be enough. I'm telling you guys right now, we know that. Okay. Because you can actually love someone and not have them in your life. Okay. Yeah. So if we are in that situation, often, of course, think about that. If you really care about the marriage and you want help, you usually kind of go to a marriage counselor, a marriage therapist. And what I've learned over and over again, and I don't want to say this like I'm going to poo-poo on all the marriage counselors and, send me all the emails and send me all the letters. Go for it. Cool. Because I know there's some out there that are absolutely incredible and amazing and actually move the needle for people. So kudos to you out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But what I've experienced, Doug, and what I know to be true because of my own personal experience, and then we're working with thousands of people. What I know to be true is that often you go to these, you're already not connecting and having intimacy in the house. Then you go to these therapy sessions, and I swear to you, it is exactly what Doug just said. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You're like, because remember, they actually are doing it for a living and they get paid hourly. So they're like, why are we talking about the same fight? Why do I feel worse when I left here? So when I was married to, and real quick, Doug, this is really good to go by the point that you're about to make, because I want you to keep going. When I was married to my ex-husband for 23 years, we went to marriage counseling. We had an issue, and it was, pretty much what you're saying. Like we shut down, not communicating. We didn't have these skills. Okay. We had love, Doug. We had love, but we didn't have these skills. So we used to fight about the same thing. And we go to this marriage counseling thing, Doug, 10 years in and out. I was with him for 23, in and out. I swear to you from the bar of my heart, I think this is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing too, is it went nowhere. It made it worse. It kept us stuck. Dude, we're not together anymore. Are you kidding me? So please, let's go back to, I'm going to take you right back. Sorry for my little, taking you off right here. But this is so important. So you and your wife are people are going to marriage counseling, and then what happens?
Yeah, so we're going to marriage counseling. We went to several of them. And talk about this in the book. I tell a story,
Okay.
because I lived in Santa Barbara, California. I was a relatively well-known business owner and one of the nicest restaurants. So we're going to marriage counseling. We have dinner
Okay.
reservations right afterwards. And I know the owners of the restaurant. I know most of the patrons,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
go,
You
hey,
like
hi.
no. You're like walking in the restaurant. They're like, hey. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not that night after the
Oh,
after the marriage counseling session. We were that couple that you see at a restaurant that wants nothing to do with each other.
got
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're
I know what
looking
you're
at the
saying.
menu, they're not talking, they're not engaging, they're not connected, and we didn't care at that point. We were like,
Yeah.
we
Done.
couldn't even. We were so distraught that we couldn't even put the mask on to fake it.
Got it.
So I went down to San Diego. I left there, and if you've been to San Diego, it's got its beautiful beaches. I went for a run on the beach. Kind of salty water hitting your face as you go, and feeling good. And again, planning my exit. Oh, funny stat. I don't know if you know
Okay. Well,
this. 70% of divorces are initiated by the woman, not the man. 90% if she's got a college degree or higher. That's a crazy stat. So you can look at it. But this time I was looking, not knowing that stat. My wife was
okay.
also looking.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm running on the beach and I asked myself a question, Charlene. I go, have I been the best husband I could possibly be? And the answer came back immediately, no. Like it was like one of those intuitive knowings I was
Oh,
running.
you did. Oh, that's good. That was a good run.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so that's what turned me onto this path. And then I asked myself again, I go, I go, have I been the best, man that I could possibly be? And the answer was no. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
And so on that run, turned things around where I thought, okay, let me look at my side of the street, because the reality is, if I couldn't do that for 30 days, right, consecutively, that's kind of the number arbitrarily I picked in my head, then I'm just going to take this baggage into the next relationship, right? Or what have you. And I still loved my wife. We just couldn't connect. I just didn't
How long were you
understand.
guys together when this happened?
We were together for a while. So we've been married for a short time. See,
Okay.
I thought
But you've been together for a long time with her.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
And
then you're
so
married, and then it all came up. That's what happens, you guys. You get married, and now you're like sharing life and everything. And this is good. This is
I
good.
thought I
So
checked the box. I thought
so
my job now was to go make money and
yep.
provide a house and everything, all the things that me as a man, I'm a very ambitious guy. I know what my assignment is. My assignment is to provide and protect. What I didn't know is that protection part meant emotionally too.
Yes.
I
Yes.
missed that.
You missed that.
I read all the books, the podcasts. I did all, and I started there was no formula, and guys need formulas. They need step-by-step instructions. Do this, do this, do this.
They
But there
do.
wasn't anything that existed. Most of the stuff that was out there spoke to, shall I say, softer men,
Yeah.
right? Not to guys like me, like a guy that would go to a barbecue, or guys that coach sports teams. And like there was nothing
It's
talking,
a different set of men. It is.
different set of men.
And
Yeah.
and really, I'm gonna tell you right now, for the majority of the women, we are more attracted to those type of men.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know? More a man that's more, he's more confident in himself. He's more of a leader. He builds, he has things, women are overall, again, this is generalization. Women
sure.
are more, I deal with a lot of women, and so we are more attracted to that type of, masculine man.
Yeah. And that's the guys I work with.
Okay. Yeah.
But what happens, they did what I did. I
Hmm.
was masculine in every area of my life, except for when my hand touched the doorknob and went into the house.
There you go. That's so good. Okay. I see it, Doug. I see Doug okay, let's go back. So you're like having this aha moment in your life. You're honestly at the beach. I can see you now, Doug, jogging with the water. And really, this is real. You know how like we have like those moments in our life that you're like, ooh, am I going right or am I going left? And you get this moment, right? And you got that moment like, oh my goodness, I
Yeah.
am not showing up as the best husband, and I'm not showing up, honestly, as the best man that I can be. Wow.
Yeah. It was
What did you do now? Like seriously, because what was that like for you as a man?
embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Okay.
Oh, completely. Because I've been doing personal and business development since I was in high school. I was that
Okay.
guy that was reading books, talking to boring my friends
Yeah.
about this stuff. So I knew better, but I didn't know the relationship part.
That's so
Um,
good.
like polarity, masculine, feminine polarity, things of that nature. And I realized I was blaming, not taking ownership. So the analogy I use, and I'll go into the story, but if we were neighbors and or if we lived together, and I walk outside of my house and I start complaining about my neighbor's bushes and they're not trimmed or their trash can's not out, and then I turn around and see the trash in my yard. Maybe it's my shutters are broken and damaged. Well, maybe instead of pointing out my neighbor's faults, I should start looking at my own house first and take ownership of that. And that's what I started to do. And I started looking around. I mean, I'm one of those people. I was taking courses, seminars,
Okay.
digesting everything. But I was also finding, because I was coaching then, right?
Okay.
I was coaching at that time.
Yeah.
So, but I was finding nothing was speaking to me, like guys like me.
That's
I'm a businessman. I'm a leader in my community. So nothing was. It was very, I guess I'll just say, very feminine stuff.
Yeah.
It's for much softer guys.
Well, Doug, remember what I said earlier when we first started this podcast? I said there's so much information out there now for women to truly be able to start looking inwards and healing and seeing how they're showing up and to learn about themselves. But wholeheartedly, there's and I'm sure when this happened with you, there wasn't really anything out there. So this is, and again, ladies, we talk about how, one of the biggest things that I hear often women will say to me, Doug, they say he's emotionally unavailable. You know what I mean? Like that's why, right? Like I'm like, okay, what do you expect? Like, you know what I mean? Because there's a difference between emotionally unavailable and there's a difference between what you did, right? With the position that you were in, okay? So what I mean by that is sometimes in general, how you were showing up for your wife before you went on that run on the beach. You were emotionally unavailable. You shut down. Okay.
100%.
Like you were just like, I'm not going to talk. Okay. I'm the yes man. Okay. And of course that's not attractive. And that will literally leave a woman. I totally agree with your wife. I don't want any man ever to be physical with me because he can actually kill me. Okay. Cause I feel like I'm strong, but there's no way that I can go up against a man. Okay. That's ridiculous. There's no way he's going to just get me really good. I'll give him a good fight, but he's not, but it's okay. You know what I mean? I'll get him good, but you know what I'm talking about? Like, I know that, I know that he can physically, take
it's
me
physiology.
Down. Hello. Yeah. But when it comes to what your wife said, we got to have her on the show too, Doug. But when it comes to what your wife said, how she would rather, even though she didn't really mean that like that, but did she try to make a point here to this man? You know what I mean? But she would rather honestly be like attacked physically from you at this point than you completely shut down because there was no connection. Okay. So this is the difference, you guys. When Doug was just saying that, when we talked about emotionally unavailable, that is a thing. That's when the man is completely shutting down. But there are men there that are being called emotionally unavailable. It's just because they don't talk like a woman. Doug, I'm not even kidding you. So there's men that can show up and really provide, that type of communication for a woman. And they're still called emotionally unavailable. And I think, and I'd like you to talk about that. That is just men communicate differently, right? Doesn't mean.
Yeah, it's a couple things. One is men communicate totally differently. Two is they have never been given permission to be emotional because, boys don't cry, all of these things. So what they've done as young boys and as a mom of boys yourself is they've closed their heart down because I'll get hurt if I go there. And so we have a program we call the Alpha Reset where we reset the alpha in the man. It's a 4-day, very intensive program for men to get back into their hearts. Don't tell men that that's what it's for.
Yeah, don't tell. Yeah, we got to say it.
We get accused of the bait and switch all the time.
But ultimately, that's good. So take me back then. So then you were finally had this realization. You're like, oh my goodness.
So I made a decision.
I said, what happened?
I made a decision. I said, okay, I'm going to be the best husband I can be for 30 consecutive days. Right. So no reacting, no criticism, take ownership for everything. Charlotte, I couldn't even make it 30 days. I was like, holy cow. And here I am expecting this beautiful woman who must be feeling lonely, dying inside, right? feeling like, man, she married this guy for his potential and who she saw, but she's getting a different person, like almost like
Mhm.
she got the bait and switch, right?
Yeah.
She got
Yeah.
sold a bad bill of goods. And I go, man, I couldn't even do it for 30 days without screwing up. Wow. Okay. Let me work on this guy and not worry about her. I mean, I care for her and
Of
everything else,
course,
but
but you had to go in. Yep.
yeah, I had to do the deep work and not worry about the criticism. And that it took me all over the world. I mean, to the jungles of Brazil, to all over the place. And I did deep dives. And since then, with myself and other coaches, we have about 6 coaches, we codified it. How do we codify this so that every guy can go through a systematic process? We call it a methodology, right? So we say we take men from being deactivated, like I was, to being activated. And we hold the mirror up, and we open their eyes up, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute." And
So
that
men are
allows,
getting, I gotta ask you this question.
yeah.
Men are becoming, like when you called it deactivated, men
Mhm.
are deactivated again, because you're taking me back
Yeah.
to how they're growing up, how, how they grow up in a certain way, and then they get more into adulthood. And then they also, are trying to do the right thing, and they think that they get married and it should be this way. Okay, it's such disempowering information for men. Oh,
100%.
oh my gosh.
Well, they're faking it. That's all they're doing.
Is
They're
that what's
fake
going on?
they're faking being men, and they're not. I mean, I wanna talk positively, but they haven't found their inner power. And
That's
so
it.
they're so worried about everybody else, they lose trust.
Okay.
They stop associating, making more male friends. In fact, I'm going to guess that most of your listeners' husbands don't have a lot of male friends that they spend time with. And
Why?
I'll,
Why aren't
why?
they having male friends anymore?
Because they don't trust themselves and they don't trust the guys.
Okay.
And they don't know themselves.
They just don't know themselves.
No, they've been faking it for so long. They don't know who the man looking in the mirror is. They
And
don't
these
know.
are great. And these are good guys. These are great guys, huh?
Great. Look, yeah. So what we say, I don't want to cuss, but we say there's no a-holes in our community because bad guys don't better themselves. Like the men that come to us are coming to save their families.
Oh, did you guys hear that? Oh, let's give kudos to the men that are
Yeah.
coming.
They're
That's very important, because that's so true. Because the men that are the jerks and that don't care, then they're just not going to care. They're not going. They have no desire. So those ladies are in emotionally completely unavailable men that it's not even going to change because they actually don't care. Those are the actual jerks, right?
Yep. And here's something I'll throw at you. I bet you
Okay,
they
tell
do
me.
care. I
You
bet you
what?
they do. I bet you they do care.
Well, what
They're
happens then?
they're afraid of failing. And so, because most of our guys, the average time it takes a guy to find us and join our program is a couple years. Think about that.
Wow.
A
Okay.
couple years.
Couple years.
So
Why
when I
can't we get this out more? Why?
well, that's why I wrote the book. So when I wrote the book, it became an Amazon bestseller.
Okay.
And so what I did is I took our whole program and I just put it in the book and gave it away. And Amazon, it's only I think it's $19 or something.
Okay, so okay, that's perfect then. Okay, because this information happens. So what happens is, so they're either women are, so it's like 3 parts here. So they're either married and you're in a marriage with an actual true jerk, doesn't care at all, and he's just, that's real. They actually don't care. They're just going, doing life. But there's some guys that are in the marriage and they're showing up, like this, but deep down, like you said, they actually care. They just have no idea what to do. Then you have the other guys like you that care and thought that maybe I'm doing it right, and then had this realization, okay, something has to change because I'm about to lose my wife.
Yeah. Can I give a distinction, a slight?
Yeah, I want all. Yeah, you tell me. Yeah.
Yeah. So my wife probably would have thought I was a jerk, right? Because
Okay.
why is he closing down? Right? All of these things. And my guess is, I mean, your listeners, the women that watch this show and
Yes.
listen to this show are smart women, right?
Yes.
They're
They're very
themselves.
smart women.
They're not going to marry a jerk, a true jerk. They're just
Okay.
not. They're smart. But that guy might show up as a jerk because of all the resentment that he has and he feels hurt. So by the time I get to the guys, and I'm talking the last group that I talked to, we had a captain of a fireman right?
Okay.
We had a dentist, we had a financial, but all gamuts
All
coming
gamuts of
through.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And most of them, their wives, I would bet you thought that they were jerks and didn't care. And the
Okay.
thing is they were so frustrated. Like these guys are crying in front of me. These guys don't cry. Like one guy was like, I haven't cried since I was a little boy, and he was
Yeah.
in his 50s, and he was a manly man. And he
Okay.
goes, I just don't know what to do. I That desperation is so deep, but how does it show up from his wife? Well, he doesn't want to look weak.
Yes.
So it shows up as criticism. It shows up. And so when she says something to him like, hey, why didn't you take out the trash? What he hears is, you're not good enough. And that
Can
assaults
you can you
all
keep
of his
talking a
character.
little? Okay. Again, I'm
Yeah.
interrupting you because this is so good, Doug. This is so good. Can you give us a little example, like you were just saying, how that really affects just because there's certain things for us women that really affect us, right? It's
Yeah.
the same for a man. So for the listeners right now, for the women that, my listeners love men. They want, they love healthy men, just like we love healthy women. Okay.
Yep.
So they are cheering on men, but they're not having the best luck sometimes because this
Yeah.
is happening. Okay. But they love men. They ultimately are also rooters for men. It's not like there's no male bashing here. Okay. So we love our men. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. So can you explain to them what is happening, even though a woman can say I have good intentions or I mean well, but what actually happens to a male and his psychology when this happens? So explain that, break that down for us.
Yeah. So the number one thing your man is looking for is your respect and your approval, right? And what most men mistakenly do is they make their lover their mother. All right. They ask her to do the laundry, pick up, do the dishes, make the decisions, manage the home, manage the family. Okay. They don't get it. So when their woman, not a woman, but their woman
Their
specifically,
woman. Yep.
um, says something like, hey, you said you were gonna take the kids to soccer practice and you didn't. What they hear is subconsciously,
Okay.
you're not good enough.
Yep.
Right. And what you're not good enough equals you're not going to be loved. Right. If you take it back to regressive psychology, you're not going to be loved. And so what they do is they go into what we call deer mode: defending, excusing, explaining, and the one I was really good at, reacting. So it ends up being, you said you're going to take the kids to soccer practice, which is probably true. And he goes, well, you know how hard I'm working. I've been working so hard at this job. You're just sitting around the house all day. And now there's a disconnect. Now she's going to go like, what the heck just happened? She's going to state her case. She's pissed. He's pissed. And they're not, now there's going to be a disconnect. They're going to walk away thinking the other one was wrong. There's no cleanup of that. And really what it is in the listening of what they're hearing.
Okay.
And now she feels lonely, sad. He feels lonely and rejected, and then that's how problems start. Because, hey, Sally at the office thinks my jokes are funny. My wife doesn't, right? And vice versa. This goes both ways at the end of the day. So this is what's happening for the guys on their end. And so what they're going to do, right, in this relationship, the husband and wife come back together, say after a couple hours, they cool
Okay.
down. And he's going to go, I'm not going to give in. I'm not, because if I give in, I look weak. So therefore, I'm going to stonewall. I'm going to close. And that's the definition. It's a Gottman theory. I'm going to close my heart down and close my temperature down. She's going to say, hey, what do you want for dinner? I don't care. Or I'm going to sit on the couch, crack a beer, turn on the game, and just tune out. Yeah.
Mhm.
And do you know the strategy that the men use to make
Tell
it
me.
better? Hopium. They hope that tomorrow will be better. They hope
No,
that
is that what they're doing?
a week
They're like,
from now,
today I'm ignoring everything. It's okay. I'm just going to watch this game today, but tomorrow.
yeah, she'll realize how amazing I am. She's just crazy. Right. And it goes on for weeks, months, years, decades. I mean,
And then us women the next day, we're like, are you serious, buddy? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hello. Now you want to what? Now you want to what? Did you remember what happened yesterday?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to talk about it. Right.
Oh, so
So
yeah. But
yeah,
yeah.
because that's their answer. And really what they're doing is surviving. And so now you have two people who love each other. That could be a power couple.
Yeah.
And now they're
Yeah.
draining each other's power and
Yes.
taking away from it. And so, with the guy's need, one is, first of all, I want to let the ladies know it's not your fault.
No.
Like, you deserve the best. Period. End of story. So do the men,
Yes.
right? It starts with the best for and from yourself, and for the men as well. And a question I get all the time is like, how do I get my man to do the work? Which we can talk about at some point. But that's what's occurring for the guys. So the guys that we work with, so we work with business owners. We just opened up a program for non-business owners
Okay.
as well. But the guys throw themselves into work or throw themselves into a hobby, or they sit on the couch and it's some form of sedation,
Yeah.
right? So when I say sedation, they're sedating themselves: porn, alcohol, drugs, TV or sporting events. It's not positive stuff. On the rare occasion, we'll get a guy that sedates himself with exercise, right? That's pretty rare, but it's still a form of sedation. It's avoiding.
Mhm.
They're avoiding the problem, avoiding the issue.
Well, let me ask you this. This is really good, Doug. This is really good because I mean, this is what I love these conversations because we're here having conversations, honestly, you guys, to bridge the gap here, to honestly bridge the gap. So we can go back to having some really amazing relationships. But you have to understand what's going on. And you have to be able to understand that, there's ways that things can change. We're not stuck if we don't want to be stuck. And that's why Doug has his program and what he's doing, because he was in that situation and I was in my own. So this is so good, you guys. So you afterwards decided, okay, you know what? I love my wife. I'm realizing, oh my goodness, it's me. Totally see what she did. So then you went and you were like, okay, I am going to completely, really take a deep dive in here and really go deep. And I know you traveled and the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
When what?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I was just thinking, like, yeah, what I did is I came clean. And I called the elephant in the room. And I said, I owned my side of the street. I said, hey, look, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I was doing this. And I just told her, like, look, I went away. These were my intentions. I just want to apologize. I couldn't connect. I didn't understand what emotional safety meant. What I want for you is to always feel safe, first and foremost, to know that I love you. And this is something I'm going to work on. First of all, for me, right? Because I have to put myself first. Because what I was doing was draining myself out there in the world and giving her an empty man,
Yep.
at the end of the day.
Yep.
And I got to fill my cup up first, so to speak. And then I want to pour over to you. So there's me, there's you, and there's a third entity over here of our relationship. And so my job is to protect all three of those. And she gets to too.
And let me ask you this. If we have the women that are listening right now and they're in the relationships, and we already said the majority of the men are great guys, and we just heard how easily this can happen. And because based on the men, what they're going through in their psychology, and when women go through their psychology, so how this can really have a disconnect here. Okay. So for women that are in these relationships and they're dealing with, Doug prior to really having an awakening. That's amazing, Doug. That's beautiful that you had that awakening because you had this amazing woman on your side. And I don't know. I can't even imagine if you don't have it, think about it. And I know that. I'm sure you look back now and go, oh my God, I can imagine not having her.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh my good, thank goodness I got my act together. You know what I mean? If I'm going to be doing life, it has to be with this one. I got
Yeah.
that. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And women, let me tell you something. That's when you marry a man, that's truly how he does feel with you. He really wants to be with you for the rest of his life. He's
Yep.
locked in. It's just all this stuff starts happening sometimes. Okay. Got it. So for the women that are in those marriages right now, they're listening right now, Doug, and they're like, Doug and Charlene, that's my situation right now. My husband, for the life of me, just can't see how he's showing up and he shuts down. I love him, but I don't even know what to do anymore. what advice would you give us women? Because we can't change the man. We know that. But we're tired of it. And we're at a point now, we're not sure if we should go.
Okay, this is perfect because actually my wife left a Post-it note on my desk this morning. And I think it's good. So what she wrote, I'll read part of it. Well, I'll read the whole thing. She said, I appreciate you and all you do to provide for us. Thank you. Also, you're hot and I want you. Love, Aaron. Which is a great note to get, by the way. So I think the way and obviously you're not going to write that note, right? If you're in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would do, and this is, I want to be 100% open. This is biased, right? But what I would do is sit your husband down and say, look, I just want to let you know that things have felt tough lately. I want to let you know, I know it's not your fault entirely. I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you do for our family. So my wife knows, she's smart enough to know that me as a guy, oh, she appreciates me. Okay, cool. I'm doing good. Like that's a good thing for a manly man to hear.
It is.
That's my
admiration. Job. You guys want some real admiration, appreciation. 100%. Do you know that I heard, and tell me if this is true, and please remember what you were just saying so we can go right back there. Sure. But I had a guest on, and she was, another expert dealing with the matters of the heart. And she literally said, statistics wise too, a man will leave his family, his marriage for true admiration.
Yeah. Yep. That's what most affairs
I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying, but that's real.
I deal with guys' affairs on both ends, right? The wife had an affair, the man had an affair. When the man has an affair, most time it's because the other woman sees him or saying she sees him the way he would like to be seen.
Correct. That's it. Right? Yeah, that's it. Okay. So keep going back what you were saying. So then that was perfect.
Yeah, I would sit your husband down and just tell him the truth. I love you. I appreciate you. All this, it should be true. Don't lie. Say I was watching this podcast and the guy on there resonated with me, reminds me of you a little bit if I do. And would you be willing to read this short book? And the reason is, ladies, you're not going to like the book I wrote. I didn't write it for you. You'll love it, the results of the book, but it's speaking to guys like I would talk at a barbecue. And I asked Charlene if I could do this, but I'll buy the book for you. I have to actually buy it from Amazon to ship it. But so please give me time. But so I talked to Charlene about this. You pay shipping. That's it. And I'll get you the book and the whole thing. If you go to thepowerfulman.com/love in honor of this podcast, get the book free and give it to your man and say, would you please just read this and let me know what your thoughts are? I'm really curious. And transparently, it may not resonate, but that it seems to resonate with most men. In fact, it resonates with all guys I talk to, but that's, again, they don't tell me, but I wrote the book just to talk to a guy about my situation, my realization that it wasn't my wife's fault and it was on my side. And then what I do is I teach the men how to communicate with their wives, how to validate their wives, how to clean it up. We call it the clean slate method. Like, hey, here's the elephant in the room. The truth is, I keep telling you that I'm going to go work out, and I've given you one body. I've given you one body that I'm telling you that you have to make love to the rest of your life, and I let myself go. Right. So I want to apologize for that. And I haven't honored my word about taking out the trash. And I've left you alone by closing my heart. Anyway, we teach them all these things just to put it out there so you guys can start marriage 2.0, the second marriage.
This is genius. And I'm going to say why. Because ladies, again, I created this podcast to give us information and tools to start changing things. Okay. To have this podcast is all about a growth mindset. And this podcast is about giving us opportunities to look inwards and heal and grow and take accountability for how we're actually showing up in relationships and how we're showing up with ourselves. And we're in a relationship. So if you guys are in a relationship, and we talked about earlier that there's no perfect relationship, but if you're in a relationship with somebody that you love and things are just like you just heard today, your man's shutting down, the fights are happening, you're just so confused. No one should be in a relationship like that. That's not a healthy relationship. I'm telling you guys right now. That's just BS. That's not what we're talking about, because I truly believe relationships should be completely. I believe a healthy relationship should actually be easy, meaning
Yeah.
that you treat each other with kindness and love and respect. And it's marrying your best friend lover. Okay. We're not changing each other. We're helping each other truly become the best versions by having patience with one another, by giving each other what each other, needs. And you got to start with yourself. But here we go. So, but if you're listening to this right now, you didn't just come here just to listen to this today and just to go and let it go. No. If you're listening to this and you can relate to what Doug is saying, honestly, get yourself that book, because men are not going to want to hear from us, because we're not going to change them. We're not supposed to be counseling them. We are not their therapists, and we are not their mothers. We are the lovers. Okay. So we got to remember that we're not mothers. We're not lovers. I mean, we are lovers. We're not mothers. We're not therapists. Like, we're not going to fix the guy. And ladies, seriously, he did stuff on his own before he had you. Let him do his certain things. Now, if you're doing things for him because you're helping each other out, awesome. Okay. But you don't have to do all the things for him. He's very capable. Okay. So have that conversation with your man. But for all that, get this book. I just asked Doug, where can we start? And he's giving us a tool to hand to our man with permission. I love how Doug said that. Literally exactly what he said. Rewind what he said. Rewind. I'll make him say it again. Rewind what he said. Keep it simple. Keep it loving. Keep it kind. Appreciate your man and say, baby, whatever you call your man, sugar poo, pumpkin poo poo. I don't know. That's what I call mine. But anyway, whatever you call yours, have him have an opportunity to get information that can actually change your husband's life. Doug, that's huge.
He wants to be that man for you. He's dying to be. He just doesn't know how.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's we men, we need directions, but we don't ask for directions, right? That's that. It is 100% true.
Yeah, and we're not going to change that, you guys. We're not going to change this. Just how it is.
No, but your man can change, but he has to do it. So yeah, just make sure he doesn't feel like you're trying to change him. And that's why I say, tell him that this resonated with you and you love and appreciate him, and you would love to understand what his opinion is. Us guys, we love to give advice and opinions. So ask him what his opinion on, if he agrees. Now, he won't agree with everything, and he shouldn't, but this is going to set you guys up on a path where he can start reclaiming the man that he is, getting into his heart space, being the better father. He wants to be the better father. He wants to be the better husband. He just doesn't know how. And this is me, one guy talking to another guy. Again, like we're at a barbecue or at a bar having a pint or whatever it is. Just very straight talk. That's the kind of coaching I do, just very straight, very straightforward. I'll buy the book for you. You got to ship it. And please, like I said, I'll leave this up for like a week after it airs. So do it quickly. And give me patience, because I literally have to package these up and mail them out. So excuse my handwriting when I put your address on there or what have you. But this is what I want to do. I want to change the world. I want to save families. And you guys, the listeners, just like my wife and I, love each other. And even if things are good, you deserve more than average. You're not here on this earth for average, and certainly not average sex, not average love, not average relationships. That's why you're listening to a podcast like this. Charlene's giving you the tools and the resources to go above average, but you got to apply it, right? You can't go from one. I used to do this, Charlene. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I used to go from one podcast to another and not applying the action, just realizing I was like, what am I doing? I'm just making myself feel good about listening to something rather than actually really feeling good and doing the actions that I'm hearing from experts like yourself.
Doug, thank you. Because I want to tell you something right now. I, again, did not create, you guys, honestly, I created this podcast purely for us to have opportunities to grow, to have great relationships, because I believe with all my heart, wholeheartedly. I believe that we absolutely deserve to have great relationships, okay? With the people we love. And I wholeheartedly also believe in, like, if we're going to read the book about things that we can do to enhance our life, to change our lives, all the things, it really does come down to applying it. You're not going to apply everything, but nothing will change in life. Nothing will change. So when I want to like, again, this is a very easy analogy, very basic what I'm about to say. If I want to lose weight, I can't just think about it. I actually have to apply something different. I have to, or I'm not going to lose the weight. I won't be able to just be like, ow, I'm going to, Doug, why can't we invent that? Why can't I go, ow, and then I lose 10 pounds? That would be amazing, Doug. That would be amazing, but that's not real. Okay. But for the first time, I have literally a man that is helping thousands of men have great relationships with their women. I mean, come on, this is good stuff. And he's offering a free book, his book. And he actually said he's going to like buy the book. And he gladly wants to buy the book. Trust me, because he knows it changes men's life. And he's on a mission to help men and women have incredible relationships. Because Doug almost lost the love of his life because he couldn't see himself. He couldn't see the way he was showing up was actually hurting his lady. And that's the last thing I can tell right now, that Doug is a really loving, good man. And I can see that really affected him. He's like, no, this is not my intentions. His intentions were to be a good husband, but he thought being a good husband, this is what they do, you guys. They shut down. They really thought, okay, well, maybe I'll make her happy if I just shut down. So then now Doug is here on, thank you, Doug. Seriously, thank you. I want to, I need to give you a big bear hug, Doug, okay? But seriously, he's saying, if you are like, oh, what's up? I want something different with my man. This is a tool. We just provided you guys a tool. So he's only going to leave it for 1 week. If you guys don't get that book, ay.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, just like yourself, I'm here to help, and it's rewarding. Selfishly, it's so rewarding getting the letters from the kids. And kids are where my heart breaks, because with a lot of these guys who are disconnected from themselves and their wives, guess who else is getting hurt?
The kids.
Right? It's the kids. The kids are without a father, with a father who's disconnected, and they repeat the same pattern. Right? I tell the men all the time, your sons are going to grow up to be just like you, which scares them because they know how empty and hollow they feel inside.
Yes.
And your daughters are going to marry a man like you. And do you want another man treating your daughters the way you treat your wife? And if the answer is no, you better change. You better change something really quickly.
You better change. Tell us how your relationship is now with your wife, and tell us, after these men are able to go through this and do this work, what are you seeing, Doug? Like, I want the listeners, you guys, honestly, I know we were talking about that and it was a little heavy, but that's real life. Again, this is real life. This is real talk. I brought real talk, real life. But what happens when people actually invest in themselves? What happens when people don't give up on each other and do this work? What happens, Doug? Tell them what actually happens. Because, there's so many people that think, oh, nothing can change. This is as good as it gets. Is that true?
No, not at all. I've heard everything at this point from the guy. And I'm telling you, literally last week, when I was this husband and wife and their 2 boys were at our ranch house, I went in there and I met the wife for the first time. Tears in her eyes, thanking me for saving their family, not just their marriage, but their family. And they were a very religious couple. So divorce wasn't supposed to be on the table, but she had made her last straw. They'd done all kinds of things. So they are now in a marriage that they couldn't even imagine possible. And I know that sounds like a fairy tale. Look, I'm a skeptic. I would think so. Just imagine, your man probably would never want to get on video and talk about his life, right? I've got hundreds of that guy after going through the program, because it was so life transformative, saying what it did for him. If you go over to the website, you can look at it. These
What's
are
the
real.
website, Doug? What's the website again?
It's thepowerfulman.com.
Okay.
And you look at it, and you look at just, it talks about, I can't remember the exact link. It talks about the guys or transformations or something along those lines. And we've interviewed some of the wives. So you can hear, these are real people like your neighbors, or just like you, like me, that they're there. And so we have those. And again, this is what my wife left on my desk this morning. And so our relationship is amazing. Is it perfect? No, not at all. We're still working on things. Do we still argue? Sure. But
You're doing pretty good. You got a nice note today, Mr. Doug. So I'm telling you right now, you did the shifting.
I did. I do the work. And I never want to pretend like I'm perfect by any means. Instead of arguing and having that argument have disconnect for about a week is what it used to be, it's literally seconds before we're laughing and cleaning it up, right? We still get triggered. We still have those things that get us, and we're growing and evolving, right, as we go. We have a great time. We're going away this weekend. And, part of that weekend, we have, we make the bedroom fun, now, not an obligation, make it fun and interesting. I want to find out what my wife's dreams, goals, and desires are as they're evolving. We were just talking about that before I came down to record this, so it's just so connected. It's better than I could have imagined. And I hear that from so many men, literally thousands of men. And some guys wait too long. And that's a problem that we have with our program, is guys wait too long. 70% of divorces are initiated by a woman, 90% if she's got a college degree. But I've also seen men come into our program divorced, then get remarried. I've even married one. I even married one of them.
Oh, wow.
I was the officiant at the wedding. It was such an honor to do it.
You guys, this is why we're having this conversation. I love this so much. Because this is real life, real talk. And what I love, Doug, is that, for our listeners that are either, like if you're single and you think, because maybe you had a relationship and it didn't work out. And if you're single and you're like, oh, no, did you just see that there's hope here? There's so much hope here. So if you are single, trust me, there are some great men out there that are willing to see themselves, willing to, do all this with you. Like, it's amazing. Okay. So don't think that change is not possible. It absolutely is. And you can find yourself a man that's willing to, show up like Doug said, and in his do stuff like his program to become the best version of himself. So ladies, if you're single, I'm telling you right now, I keep telling you, there's some great men out there. Now, if you're married, I'm saying it right now. How many times have I heard this over and over again? It's him. He's not, and I'm telling you, I know there's some men that are being jerks. I like that you said that. You could be a good man, but be showing up as a jerk. Mm-hmm. I love that. Okay. So you hear that, ladies? So yeah. So you might be like, no, you guys don't understand. I got a jerk. Okay. Doesn't mean that he's not a good man. It means exactly what Doug was trying to explain to us earlier. How that happened to Doug. Doug's a good man. He had good intentions. He knows how, and look he became a jerk for the wife. And that wasn't his intention. And she's like, oh, no. Okay. What I love about this is what I already asked Doug. Can this shift? Are we doomed? Can we change? Can we grow? If we have a marriage that is not fulfilling, can it become fulfilling like you and your wife now?
100%. I mean, 100%. Again, I've seen it happen thousands of times, ladies. There's so much hope. Your man is dying to be that man for you. He just doesn't know how. And so because he doesn't know how, he feels like less of a man and he's scared. And so he reacts in a way like a child, again, the deer, defending, excusing, explaining, reacting, rather than we call the wolf wise, open-hearted, loving, and fierce. We tell men to be a wolf, be wise, be open, be loving, take care of your family, take care of your people, share your heart, be fierce, be protective of your family. Right. Doing the work it can be scary, especially for guys. They're not used to it. They're working a new muscle in their 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s. We have men of all ages coming in. But if you give him a little appreciation and show him that you care and that there's hope, he'll do just about anything to make it work.
I love that. And you guys, if like I said, if you are listening to this right now, please, I'm going to have him repeat himself with how to get the book. Just start there, get the book. And even if they don't get the book, because we want them to get the book, but if they don't get the book, they can still start by
They could start by cleaning up their side of the street. Could be a good thing to do. Maybe you get to do your work too. That's super important. Um, and share a podcast. Something you reminded me of.
mm,
We did a podcast interview with a couple. I can't think of the title because we've done over 1,000, but it's Gary and Heather. It's a couple that's on there, and they found each other so that both of them ended up being single, right, in their life. And then Gary's gone through our program, and Heather would say on that, like, I thought all the good guys were gone. They were jerks, and they're wildly in love. You can just, if you watch it on YouTube, watch the way they look at each other because the eyes don't lie, and they've been together for a while, and it's a beautiful thing. So for you ladies out there that are single, it's possible. And then for you married ladies, you look at Gary. Gary is a guy who's done the work and turned things around. He's a normal everyday guy, hardworking, all the good things, but he didn't have the tools, and that's really what it was. And he talks about it very openly. So you can look that up. That's all free. So the book is free. Again, I just ask that you just pay the shipping. The podcast, is free. We have tons of resources, and something else you could do, which I think I've had a lot of women, because I get this question a lot, as you can imagine. How do I help my man? As soon as people find out, listen to the podcast together in the car, right? Remember that I'm talking to him and not you. So I have to speak to him in a way that he understands, but listen to him in the car and disagree with me, but have a conversation, right? Have a conversation about it. And you can meet my wife. My wife goes on the podcast too. And so you can see judge for yourself if what I'm saying is real about our relationship. We talk very openly about the ups, the downs, and all that fun stuff. But just do something.
What's the name of and we'll leave it in the show notes too. We're going to leave all the things. So let's talk about Doug, how do we get in your world? What's the best way to start?
I'd recommend getting the book because the book is going to help you out the most. We work with men.
Okay.
Right. So that is thepowerfulman.com/love. thepowerfulman.com/love.
And we're going to put it in the show notes, what he just said. So just look in the show notes, and he's going to keep it up when this episode goes out. So once you guys see this episode come out, and you're listening to the episode right now because it came out, it just came out, right? When you're listening right now, you have a week.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll leave it for at least a week. I got to talk to the team that puts that up for me. They're much better than I am.
Okay.
And wherever you're listening to this, when you're done and you've done the work that Charlene's asked you to do, if you want, go over and search for The Powerful Man. We'll come up. It's a wolf with a rose logo, and look at the woman's point of view. Look at some of the things that look at what interests you. We take usually frequently asked questions guys ask us. And so we answer those questions from my point of view. But again, we have a team of 36 people. So we work with a lot of people. So coaches, we have women on staff. I have a woman that's worked with me for 15 years. She's my right-hand woman, if you will. So see if that resonates with you. And if what I talk about doesn't resonate with your husband, that's fine too. But what I always tell men to do is do something. Go somewhere and do this. Like I lose money on the book in this case, right? I'm cool with that as long as you are doing the work, right? Because I think this is my legacy.
I do too. Mr. Doug, you're amazing.
Thank you. So
Honestly,
are you.
no, thank you. Honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing what you're doing. I'm such an advocate of women. I'm such an advocate of men. I'm such an advocate of great relationships. And this is what lights me up. It lights me up having guests like you that come on to this show and really want to help and really provide information that can be helpful. So thank you. Honestly, thank you.
Thank you.
And you guys get the book, okay? Until next time, Cheers to great love. If you're loving this podcast and these incredible conversations, please hit the subscribe button and leave a 5-star review. Don't miss an episode because each week I'll be bringing on guests and experts who will share their knowledge about love, dating, and relationships so you can apply it into your own life. I'll see you next week. And until then, cheers to great love.